Hello and welcome, guys. It is ThatSrb2DUDE here today, bringing you finally the next part for the second part for the Q&A. I don't know why I changed my voice there, but yeah, there's been a delay of videos, mainly because this new game called Pokken Tournament is literally taking over my life, and I can't stop playing this game. And I was just like, okay, you know what? I need to make a video. I need to get back onto this. I need to stay on it. So, by the way, I'll talk about that in the end, but anyways, let's get on to this Q&A, because I still got some questions to answer. It's a bit overdue. I think these questions were asked about a month ago, but, you know, I'll answer them anyway, because, you know, I need to answer these questions. But anyway, let's just stop rambling and just get into them. So, Mr. Noodle said, I have a few questions just to answer, anything you can. I don't expect you to answer them all, but I would be happy to answer if you answered any of them. And because I'm a nice guy, I answered them all for you, Mr. Noodle. Anyways, so the first question he asked is, how many weapons have I got 999,999 points with, inked with which weapons? I think I have about probably 2, the Splatterscope and the 96, the regular Splatterscope, so those 2. His second question is, how many weapons have I got 100,000 painted with? And I think probably like 30, a lot of them. I don't even know. I've used a lot of weapons, so probably over 30 or 50. I don't even know. How many hours have I put in for Splatoon? I think the last time I checked it was 1,400, but it's actually quite actually no, it's not 1,400. That was somebody else's. It was like around 1,200 maybe, somewhere around there. It's close, but it doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's how many hours I've put in so far. How much turf do I have inked for the H3? Not a lot. Do you ever play Turf Wars outside tearing up videos? Not really, no. I don't really play Turf War. I played Turf War for the first part of tearing up, so everyone feels involved, because there's a lot of people who like to play Turf War, and I was just like, you know what? Let me show you some Turf War. Let me show you how I Turf War. But personally, I don't play Turf War because I find rank just a lot more fun, so that's what I usually play. Are there any weapons that I believe that need a buff or nerf? Well, the H3 needs a buff, and the 10 attack needs a nerf. Seriously, that weapon should be a 4-shot kill every single time. How good its stats are. It's got good it has good ink efficiency, good firing rate, high damage, good range, amazing kit. There's too many good things about this weapon, so it's just like, why would you pick any other weapon to use? Plus the mobility is good, and you could literally run anything on it. Defense up 10 attack is an amazing build. Defense up speed 10 attack is even more scary. Like literally, you tank everything, and you dodge everything, and you kill people very, very fast. So yeah, I feel like that weapon should get a nerf. How useful do I think Ink Saver main is compared to Ink Recovery up? Most people prefer Ink Recovery, but does it depend on the weapon? I wouldn't really say it depends. It would depend on the weapon. Like, on snipers, usually, Ink Recovery is a little bit better, but Ink Saver main can actually also be really good. I mean, it really just depends on how you like it, because there's, you know, you can make anything work. I mean, Ink Saver main's really good. I mean, for an Elia, it allows you to have 4 shots. Ink Recovery is also really good. It makes you to, like, recover your ink a lot faster, so you know, it's like a 50-50 right there, so you can really use any of them, and it'll work out for you. Do you save scum abilities on your gear? I've only saved scum one time on my Forge headset. Wait, not my Forge headset, my Forge goggles. The Defense Pure as Defense Main and 3 Defense subs. That's the only piece of gear I have save scummed. And now we can get into some more questions, so thank you very much, Mr. Noodle. Chaotic Energy asks, why don't you use snipers in competitive play? And do you prefer splat charges over the Elia? I generally, well, my favorite weapon of all time in this game is the Splatterscope. No question about it. But the Elia is also really good. I'd say my Elita is a lot better than my Splat Charger or Splatterscope, or I should say, because I feel like, well, I've gotten so used to the Elia, like it's just natural to me. So yeah, I'd say my Elia. Well, I prefer my Elia, but I love using the Splatterscope. Will Neckerman said, hey, I'm only B in Splatoon, and I get crazy KDs, and I'm almost always first. Any tips on ranking up? Well, there was a guy that said, well, kind of answered this. He goes by the name of Vin Kano, and he said, check out his rank up video. And I would like say the same thing. That's probably one of my best get some tips off that. Kermit J said, what would you say to mid-level players in Splatoon wanting to get better in Splatoon competitive play? First of all, find a team. If you do have a team, good job. Second of all, scrim. I actually have a highlight video on my Twitch channel that talks about I watched this back. I was just like, you know what? I'm a genius, you know. Like that's perfect. So I'm actually gonna put a link description of that highlight, just telling you why you should scrim, because scrimming to other team, or scrimming first of all, is when you versus another team or another, like, you know, it's squad versus squad, but in private battle basically, and just literally practice, work on composure, work on composition, work on coordination. Coordination probably one of the biggest things in there, because once you're coordinated with your team, it makes it a lot easier to like get things done basically. Like if you need to take out one specific guy, and if you coordinate with your teammates, it's going to be so much easier, and it makes you much more of a threat basically. Nathan Becker said, how long have you been playing Nintendo games? Since a kid or just the past few years? I've been playing Nintendo games since I was a kid, probably younger than that. Well, not a baby, I guess, but since probably when I was 3 years old. My first game I played, Super Mario 64 on the, of course, 64. And then it wasn't actually my favorite like Nintendo game, but my favorite Nintendo game like back in the day was Super Nintendo. Star Fox on the Super Nintendo. That was my favorite game. I never beat the final boss until this day. I still have not done it, mainly because I didn't know how to beat it. Like when like Andros's brain came out of his head there, like I just saw it, like this cube thing. I was just like, okay, what do I do against this? Like I don't know. Do I shoot it? I never actually shot at it. Like I didn't do anything to it. Like I would always get to that final boss, and my brother would just look at me in shock because he'd be like, how do you get to that level? I'm just like, I don't know. It's crazy. When we were just a bunch of crazy kids when we were 6 and 8. But anyways, Omen Napoleon asked, although this question may be a little bit too common, I wanted to mention it because anyway, what is your favorite weapon in terms of how it suits your playstyle? This is a really difficult question, honestly. Like, I use so many weapons, and I usually change up my playstyle depending on what type of weapon I use. So, honestly, I don't know, because I have I've changed my playstyle, I alter it. I do the same, like, fundamentals of, like, what I want to, like, achieve during a game. What I usually want to achieve is getting 2 down, objective, getting 2 down, objective, or get 4 down, objective. I mean, that's just how it just normally, that's just how it goes with pretty much all my, like, the weapons I use. That's just generally a playstyle that I like to, not really a playstyle, but strategy that I kind of use with just every single weapon. But I don't even know. I can't answer this question. It's not the easiest question to answer because I use so many weapons and it just alter my playstyle. And personally, I don't even know what my playstyle is. So, yeah. Claudio Hernandez also asks, dude, what is your favorite Nintendo game since you were young? Please answer, and I will, because, well, I've already answered this, but it was definitely Star Fox on the Super Nintendo. So that's just another time. Oh, I answered your question again, basically. Plasma Crane asks, what microphone do I use? And the microphone I do use is the Rode NT USB microphone. It's a studio. Well, I would class it as a studio microphone. I mean, I'll show you a picture of it right here. It's a really nice microphone. I got this recently, 6 months ago, when I just started out in streaming, like back in August. And yeah, it works really well. It's kind of broken now because there was this one time where it was a really hype set, like probably one of the best Splatoon competitive matches ever played. It was Bittersweet Gaming, which was the team I was on, versus Memories, and I dropped my microphone because we beat them. Like, I mean, I'll show you a picture of this crack. Like, there's a crack in my microphone, and it's just like, oh my god, this is the time I beat Memories, because this is the time I broke my microphone a little bit. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. Joseph Lua asked, what is your job? And my job right now is currently a lifeguard. It's not the most interesting job. I mean, you do kind of sit there all day, and then that's pretty much it. But you know, it gives you money. That's all. That's good. that's what you're supposed to get from a job. So, you know, it's just something I'm going to be doing part-time for a little bit, and then I'll be moving to university and to do bigger and better things. When I do university, though, I don't expect to like quit YouTube or anything like that, or quit Twitch. I will be doing it alongside it because I am a hard worker, and I will always do YouTube no matter what. So, A.T. Jamin asked, who is your squad's leader, and how did you choose the leader? Well, technically, I am co-leader of Team Paradise, but the real, like, captain of the team is LSDJ. We kind of just, there's no really explanation. Like, we don't treat each other differently, like, you're leader, you have to do this, or anything like that, or captain. Like, we kind of all just work everything out as a team. Like, we don't, like, give everybody just to do the work and all that type of stuff. So, like, it doesn't really matter who's the leader or not, man. We just have to play as a team. Everyone's equal. Nick L asks, how do you hold such a steady aim, and how should I practice aiming? Literally the way you should practice aiming is just shooting the dummies over and over again. Like, just moving your gamepad in really awkward situations and just trying to snap your aim into the dummies and all that type of stuff in the training, the shooting place. I don't really know what it's actually called. Shooting range, I guess. But, you know, just shoot the dummies and all that type of stuff, and just, like, move your controller around and just see how you can aim and all that type of stuff. And just, you know, get used to the sensitivity that you're using, because that helps a lot. So, Mr. Chomp 10 asks, how do I master motion controls? I know you can just jump into turf war or story mode, but I've tried and failed. Please help. Include sensitivity settings if you can, like how to adjust depending on the weapon. I've watched your vid, but I still can't do it. Second question, I'm thinking about making a squad. I know charges are necessary, but I can't use them very well. I can use Splatlings well, though I can prefer that over Kelp Splat. Do you think Splatlings can be suitable for a charger in a team structure? I wouldn't say you would replace the charger player as a Splatling. I mean, they both charge, but they don't do the same thing. I mean, you'd have a Splatling alongside a charger, but you wouldn't have it to replace it, because, you know, when you go on a map like Moray, I mean, you're gonna get out-sniped or out-charged, I guess, because, you know, if the other player if the other team has an E-leader and you're just a heavy Splatling and with no E-leader, I mean, it's not gonna be the easiest thing. So you don't actually have to run a charger. You can run no charger strats. I mean, it's a thing. It does work, but it depends on what weapons you use, of course. Mainly a weapon that has a disruptor does help a lot. You disrupt the charger, kill everyone else, pressure the charger because you have 4-up. So, you know, it works. You can have team compositions where you don't necessarily need a charger. It helps a lot when you do have a charger in certain maps, but, you know, you don't really need one as well. Bernanisa asks, if you're answering questions, I might as well toss one there too. In every video you do, you're always so calm and composed. How do you get around the stereotypical shooter rage? Or does it just never enter your consciousness? I ask this because this is easily the biggest hurdle that is standing in the way of my improvement. Yeah, I mean, the way I just stay composed, because I just, you know, you gotta maintain level-headed. I mean, you just gotta stop the rage, basically. Like, you just gotta be like, you know, I am just playing a game, just trying to have some fun. You know, I'm not gonna stress over it too much, because, you know, basically, if I get absolutely destroyed, you know, it's something I'm gonna have to learn. I'm gonna have to learn how to get around it the next time I get into a situation like that. It's generally just trial and error. So if you just work out your problems and you go back over it, and if you see this problem again, or this situation that caused the problem, you do something different. If that works, great. There we go. If it doesn't, you have to go back to the lab. You have to try another thing. Keeping calm and composed helps this a lot, because you're just thinking straight, you have no sorts of stress. Your gameplay will be a lot better, because once you start stressing, your gameplay is gonna basically, like, that's the best way I can explain it. Your gameplay is gonna be looking like a fart. So, I mean, generally, I've had a lot of experience with games. I mean, I've been playing like shooter games for like 10 years now, like ever since I was 11. I'm 20 years old, I forgot. But yeah, I generally just, you know, I'm used to it. Like, you know, I know it's a thing that's gonna happen, and I do expect it to happen sometimes, but I just make sure that it doesn't happen as many times as it should be happening. So, you know, the trial and error theory is, you know, you just got to trial and error. David Ortega says, I have a question. I try to play ranked and it says communication error. That's a problem with your ISP or your internet. I'm not too sure why that happens, so I don't really, that's not even a question. But thank you very much for asking. Kim Sun-woo asks, any question, huh? Alright then. What's your opinion on the Tri-Slosher? Also, thanks for just being an all-around awesome guy, dude. It's been great watching your videos and streams, and I hope you decide to continue making Splatoon content for a long time. Well, thank you very much, Kim. But anyways, the Tri-Slosher, it's amazing. The Tri-Slosher is a very good weapon. I can't personally use it that well. Like, I still need to learn it a little bit. But it works in competitive play. Like, it can work in competitive play. Like, people may look at it like, oh, it's a slosher. It's not going to be that great in competitive play. You know, it gets outranged and everything. But Disruptor, try slosher with Disruptor. You disrupt someone, you just walk up to them slowly and just slosh them. It's a good weapon. Wumi Eglo asks, hey, I have some questions. What is your favorite weapon to use? The Splatoscope. What sensitivity are you using with motion controls? I use motion controls between -3 to +2. Right now I'm using +2 with shooters and like -2.5 and -3 for charges. I switch my sensitivity up so many times. This question, like, it's gonna always be different every time somebody asks me this. So that's just how it's being right now. And the third question is, in your opinion, what is the best weapon in Splatoon, viable in ranked battle? So, first of all, the Tenatech Splatter Shot. As I've said before, every stat of it is very, very good. It's such a good weapon. I mean, you can use the Tenatech on every single map. It's just that good. It's such a good weapon. And Dylan Benson asked 2 questions. He asked, what weapon do I think is most broken, and what weapon do I use the most in Splatoon? Weapon I use the most in Splatoon, I think I can answer this first. The weapon I've used the most in Splatoon is Splatoscope. Definitely the Splatoscope. I've used the Splatoscope more than any other weapon. Close to the Splattershot Pro, but the Splatoscope was on top. And what weapon do I think is the most broken? I'd probably say the Tenatech again. The Tenatech needs to just nerf the Tenatech just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just make it a 4-shot kill. I'll be happy. And if you want to add some defense, like, if people could add more defense up and just, you know, make it a 6 or 5-shot kill, I'll be even happier. So yeah. So yeah, these are the questions I've gotten today. This is the questions I'm gonna go all through today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I've still got some more questions to go through, so there's gonna be a part 3, of course. And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please like, favorite, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter and Twitch, both in the description below. Do it for both if you're feeling generous. And as always, guys, this has been ThatSrb2DUDE, and I shall see you guys in a future video.